Welcome, everybody, to the Mystery Duo streaming podcast. I am here. I am Dr. Jordan, with my co-host,
Mr. Tyler.
Mr. Tyler. And as you see in front of you currently, there's a nice doctor's office. I am the one sitting in the chair. He's the one in the medieval suit of armor, laying awkwardly on the couch.
That's me.
That's him. So just pretend the mouths are moving, to us. We'll
Yes.
get there eventually, where like they move exactly with us, and it's gonna look
Sure.
very seamless. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So before the podcast started, we were doing a thing, and my friend here, Mr. Tyler, wouldn't shut up about birds, and specifically a bird movie that he continued to riff off of for the following hour after bringing it up. So, Tyler, why don't you explain it to him?
Okay. All right. So there's this movie. All right. It all started. Wait, did we? No, I don't know. All right. So this movie.
I wouldn't. Oh my god. I thought I would be a little safer, it being 11.
All right, shut up. The Legend of Guardians Gaul. All right, The Legend of Guardians Gaul. All right, this movie is quite possibly my favorite childhood movie ever. All right, it is about these owls, and I like owls, but they no one's ever watched it except me apparently, and it's the Legend of Guardians of Gaul, and they go on this adventure and about these like small baby owls, and then they're like they don't even know how to fly yet, and then they finally and they get kidnapped by the bad boys, and then they almost get hypnotized by the moon. But my friend here,
I think he's
therapist.
I think he's lying to himself. I don't think this movie is real. I think he's
Therapist.
just I think he had some childhood trauma involving an owl.
I have evidence.
Listen, okay? This clearly photoshopped picture that you sent me does not count as evidence.
It it really does, because the people that made the Firefly song put songs in that soundtrack. I know it. I heard it.
Because the people at home listening may not be able to see what he sent me, but it's basically the cover of Guardians of the Galaxy, but like he photoshopped pictures of owls on top of it.
This movie is original, made by the people that made Happy Feet. Mm-hmm. And everyone likes Happy Feet except Alex apparently, but everyone likes a Happy Feet.
He's a troubled child. That's why he doesn't like Happy Feet. I think at one point he got scared as a child, and he's like, "Man, I hate Happy Feet." And I'm like, "Well, that sucks." And then I'm like, in the future, after that we become very successful and very rich off of this, which according to my calculation should be in about a month, we're going to be sending him to Antarctica to hang out with penguins so he can get over his fear.
Yes.
We aren't going to be telling him this, of course. We aren't going to tell him that we're sending him there. He's just going to wake up there. Should we schedule him a flight home? I think he should be fine on his own.
No, he's good.
Okay. So continue talking about this made-up movie.
Okay. So, all right. Starts with this family of barn owl that live in this tree, and they're having a good time, and it has the brother, like duo brother dynamic, where like they try to outshine each other as their parents take them out to fly at night, trying to teach them how to fly.
Very cliche.
Jumping from branch to branch. Yeah, but the cliches were based off this movie, bitch. So don't at me.
Okay. But, all
right. So they're trying to outdo each other as they try to learn how to fly, going from branch to branch, and so. But then they didn't do very well, and then so they go back inside the tree, and then so they have their little sister, and then so there's the one brother. His name's Soren. Okay.
Yes.
His name's Soren. I forget the name of the other brother
because he isn't real.
No, he's real, but I forget the name. Soren is the main character in the movie. All right, Soren,
Mhm.
and him and his little sister. I forget her name too, but they were told these legends. They were told these legends, and can you guess? Can you guess what the legend is, Jordan? It's
No.
about the Guardians of Gaul. And
Oh.
so they're told about this big battle of good against wrong and or good against bad and then right against wrong. You know the do and
Mhm,
and
mhm.
and so obviously Soren identifies with being the strong, doing what he can for what's right kind of thing,
Yeah.
and so yeah, and then they go to sleep, and then he wakes up, and then his older brother is trying to go out, and I forget, but they fall out of the tree. They
Okay.
fall out of the tree, and then they're at the floor, and then so when you're a baby owl, okay, it's
Yes.
very 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 bad for you to be without your parents, and then two, to be on the floor of the forest at night. That's very bad, very bad. That is not the place you want to be if you are an owl and a baby owl that can't fly yet.
Mhm. I'm sure we
And
we have we have one viewer currently. I believe they are
that's me.
probably
That is me.
fine. Whatever.
um,
Be like that.
so, anyways, continuing my story. Um, uh, so, and so they can't climb up the tree again, and their parents don't know that they fell out of the tree. And then they hear these noises and these rats. They try to attack them, and then they try to do this like big battle thing with the rats. And then out of nowhere, these two owls pick up both Soren and his brother, and then so they're getting taken up in the sky, and they're flying away from the tree, and they're like, "Hey, that's our family back there. Like you gotta take me back." And they aren't listening, and then they basically tell them to shut up, and then not to say anything, and so they just got kidnapped. Okay,
Yeah.
they got straight up out of the book kidnapped.
A bird nap, some would say.
Yes, and so and then so they finally arrive at this one place. I forget what it's called. They arrive at this one place with all these other children, owls, baby owls, kid owls, whatever you want to call them, and they're all herded together, walking in this big group of owls, and they're brought into this desert, and none of them can fly because they're all baby owls, so they
Of
can't
course.
fly away.
Of course.
Obviously, otherwise they could just fucking flap away.
Yeah.
Um,
But they're all
and
children and stupid.
yeah, they can't do that yet, and so they're in this desert. They're in this desert, and then all the big bad owls are there, just like, hey, take a look at that sun. I mean, not that sun, the moon up there. And so they're like, why? And they're just like, just take a look at the moon and then fall asleep. Okay, they're just fall asleep, have a good long nap. And so most of the kid baby owls, they do that because they're stupid. But Soren, right? Soren, he became friends with this other smaller owl. Her name's Gilfie, okay? And they were like, hey, maybe we shouldn't stare at the moon and fall asleep. All right, just don't do it. And then so they kept each other awake during the entire night until it became day. But then they finally they're then herded away and then back the other way. And then so apparently what happened was the moon. Everyone else woke up, and then so they were like hypnotized, and they're like brain. Uh, Man, I did not know I was gonna be summarizing this whole movie.
Yeah, I mean,
Shit.
I was ready
Uh,
for like a few sentences, like a paragraph at most. You're really just giving me the whole of the details,
the
and
whole yeah, everything.
that
You need to know everything.
that's fine.
Um, so they're herded together, and then but Gilfie and Soren, they made it out of there. The older brother didn't get put with this group apparently, and but they get sorted out of the group. Soren does, Gilfie doesn't, and he gets sorted out of the group with the other smart owls that didn't get brain dead because they're not stupid. And then they're
Yeah.
like, hey, this is the battle. Like they're trying to train these owls to become warriors. And then this is where he encounters his brother again, where the head mistress, like bad evil lady owl, is like, hey, she's like trying to get these warrior like big kid owls that want to be like great like warriors shit people,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? And so they're they start to do the brother rivalry again about like who's the better uh
Owl.
owl.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so but Soren doesn't do it and blah 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 blah. And then Soren ends up being with Gylfi again. And if I honestly, that entire last section may or may not have it happen the way I said it. I know there was the brother rivalry, but it might not have happened the exact way. It's
Okay.
okay. The
Okay.
end, but this one old man who was a baddie ended up turning good, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna teach you guys how to fly, and then you're gonna go warn the Guardians." And then he's like, "Wait, the Guardians?" Soren's like, "Wait, the Guardians?" And he's like, "Yeah, the Guardians." And he's like, "That's real?" And he's like, "Yes, the Guardians of Gaul, and it's all real." And
Mhm.
then actually, yeah, that might not have happened at that part. I know it does happen, but it might not have been that part. Um,
How can you like? Okay. How far are we through this movie so
this
far?
is like before the half.
Well, all right. I'm just gonna let you keep going, man. You really got this handled. You know.
No, I don't.
Okay.
But because
Well, you're like forgetting half of the things because this movie
I'm
doesn't
not.
exist.
No, I'm not forgetting half the things. I haven't even gotten to like the first half ending, all right, or the first act ending. We're getting there, all right. The first act it is where it starts the transition phase of them getting to the Guardians of Gaul. All
Yes.
right, you don't understand.
I don't because I ain't never seen this movie because it isn't real.
It
Um,
is very real,
I'm.
very real. Look it up. Guardians of the wait, the Legend of the
You're
Guardians of
already
Gaul.
forgetting the name of this
The
not real
Legend
movie.
of the Guardians of Gaul, Jordan. I don't think you understand how easy it is to just search that.
Okay, listen. Okay, what it sounds like you're telling me, so far through the plot, is that this is just a hit classic Rio.
Honestly, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
just
sure.
sounds like it's Rio, but like instead
It's
of like a
sure.
bird that's
No,
like endangered, it's
the
like an
birds.
owl.
Yeah,
And these owls. So they live in a tree, correct? Like at the beginning, they were
yeah,
living
but
in a
the
tree.
birds aren't from Wisconsin.
Okay. Um. So here's my issue with that because you're making it seem like there's a large amount of birds. Tyler, I don't think there's that many owls in the state that we live in.
Um, you don't know that.
I I could count. I have more than 10 fingers. I can count.
Yeah, you can.
I you know those things where like you get like another thumb like coming out of your other hand, like you just like duct tape it on. Yeah, that
Sure.
it's that. I can count like the amount of owls that I see, and I can count with one hand that there's like three in
Yeah.
the county.
So, anyways, that that movie is a lot like the game that just came out the Game Pass, the Falconeer that I tried today,
Okay.
and it looks really good on Xbox Series X. It really does, and I haven't played very much of it, but it has good controls. When I read the reviews for it, it was like the people were saying that it's like snappy and not good. But then I was like, I'll try it when it comes out the Game Pass, and it came out the Game Pass, and honestly, it feels really good to play.
Hmm.
I don't know about playing it very often, but it feels good.
Okay. Well, are you done now with the whole movie summary?
Uh, yeah.
Okay.
Good goes against bad.
Okay.
The other brother, obviously becomes bad
Hmm.
brother, and then Soren and them fight, and there's a big ass like fire,
Yeah.
and then Soren ends up trying to save his brother after like fucking him up, and
Hmm.
then the brother's like no, and then
Okay. Oh,
fucking
whoa.
like burns,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
he didn't
What?
actually die. He like made it through, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's a whole fucking thing. And then they set up a sequel, but then the sequel never happened, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah, I would have loved to see um that sequel. That would have been great. Um,
Yeah.
I would like to transition from that movie to a movie that I watched growing up as a
Uh-huh.
kid. Called
It's not Dog Hotel.
It is Dog Hotel. This is a movie that you don't know, so let me. Um, this is a movie I watched years ago. I was very young.
Uh-huh.
I lived in a different house. Um,
So your dog's living in a hotel.
I'll get there. Okay, spoilers. Jeez. Um, Basically, as I remember it, there's these two kids. One's about like 15 ish, and the other one's like 10, and they're
Uh-huh.
living in this like hotel apartment thing with like no parents. I don't even know how they got in this situation, but I like at one point the one she gets like this like phone case, like an iPod,
Yeah.
like not like phone case, but like a box for like an iPhone, right?
Hmm.
And she's like you see her and she's got like a plastic wrap on it and she's got like a hair dryer and she's like sealing the box, right? So she goes up to this dude. He's like, "Would
Hmm.
you like to buy this new phone for like whatever?" Like she's at like $30 or something. And he like grabs the box and like shakes it and like he hears something inside and he's like, "Yeah, good enough." And then he gives
Uh-huh.
her the
Uh-huh.
money and she leaves and he opens up the box and there's a brick in it. Um, and then she runs away and
Wait
she's
a
like
second.
he and then the guy follows her and then I think she like climbs up a pipe and goes back into her room. What was
I think I watched this movie.
I think so too. It's not like an unpopular movie
Wait a
or
second.
made up.
Hey, The Legend of Guardians got Uhl is a very popular movie.
Okay, Dog Hotel, and then like at some point they like find this abandoned hotel that's like really nice, and they just kind
It's
of
called Hotel for Dogs. That's what it's called.
hotel for them, same thing,
And I
whatever.
did watch it.
um, but like they basically just like start putting dogs. I forgot why they put dogs in there. I think they had a dog and it was getting kicked out of their apartment, so they're like, I'm just gonna put it in
Yeah.
this abandoned hotel, and like set up this like Rude Goldberg situation to like feed and water the dogs
Yeah.
properly. And they do this right, and then they get a bunch of dogs in there, and then like people find out about it, and they're like, you don't own this property. What the hell are you doing? You just you're you're squatting. You're squatting in this house. You're squatting in this old a hotel.
Exactly.
And then the
That's not very
mayor
nice.
shows up and looks at one dog, and the dog like does like a smile, and then he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, fuck it." And then they just let him do it and continue to do so. So now like people can leave their
Yeah,
dogs
even though
there,
it's a hazard,
even
but
though
it's alright.
the health hazard that place has probably been run down for about 50 years. Um, the roof is going to collapse and kill someone. Um,
Yep.
that's just how it is. But the reason why I brought this up, because this was at a time where I was very impressionable. Um,
Uh-huh.
Also during this time, I spent a lot of time at my grandmother's house, and me and my grandmother would go in her backyard, lift up like stones, collect bugs in little bug boxes, and
Uh-huh.
um, and then put them back. Right. So we used to do that a lot. We did that like almost every other day when I was there. It was a lot of fun. I would grab a bug and be like, "Hey, go in the box." And then I always enjoyed making the box look nice. Like putting dirt
Yeah.
and like grass in it and a stick or something.
Like a good child.
Yeah, like I want to make look nice for the bugs that are I'm putting in there forcefully and removing from their home and their children. At least the least I could do was make their enclosure look cool. Um, so I would do that, but then I was inspired by Hotel for Dogs that
Uh-huh.
I wanted to make specifically a hotel for worms. To do this, I went in not at my grandmother's house, at my house at the time, right outside the front door where everyone was going in and out of. I decided I was going to dig up a giant mound of dirt. I don't have something for reference for size, but like, say like two dinner plates worth, like if like wide and like but like tall. It was like a good like foot tall of like just
Yeah.
dirt. And then what I did with this is then I flipped it back on top of the hole that I made. um
Mhm.
So basically, there was like this like cave now, and then like a lid on top of it, on top of this hole. Um, then I immediately forgot that it was there. Quite literally, the next day, I forgot it was there. Come
Oh, you
wintertime,
forgetful child.
many months in the future, wintertime comes, and I look outside and I'm like, what's that big lump doing? I wonder what that's about. And then I leave. And then I come back during the next season of spring. I come back in the spring, and I got my friend, my best friend at the time, his name was Tony. And I flip over the lid, and there's a bunch of bugs in there. And I'm like, yo, Pog, or whatever the equivalent of Pog was, like 10, maybe 12 years ago, whatever that was. I would just go like, cool, and then I like started collecting
Uh-huh.
bugs, put them in thing, and it worked. It worked phenomenally well. But my friend had a very different side with bugs. He didn't do what I did with my grandmother. He lived with his grandmother, and at some point on the side of his shed, there was about 20 wolf spiders. Now,
Oh, fuck.
yeah, they're just like sitting on the side of the wall, like not inside the shed, but outside of it. Really confusing on why they were just chilling there, but they were. And it was weird because like my house was just down the street, not too far away, and I never saw any wolf spiders. So why has he been collecting them all apparently on the side of
Yeah.
his shed? Um, and his experience, because I don't think he messed with bugs other than that, was me and him going into his shed and then grabbing a bucket.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what that noise was. Effective girl has followed me. Okay. All right. That scared me. I heard a noise that was very loud, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
that's the noise that happens when people follow.
yeah, that scared me. Anywho, um, so we like there for whatever reason there was like this bucket of sand.
Uh-huh.
In this bucket of sand was ants. Us being children thinking, we're gonna
Let's put our
throw
hands in it.
this sand at at the wolf spiders
Oh.
in act of defiance against their species. So we picked up the bucket, went over there, picked up the
Uh-huh.
sand that had the ants in it, and fucking threw it as hard as we could at the wolf spiders. If the clump of wet sand didn't kill them, the ants would finish the job. In our head, we thought that would be true. Um, at the end of it, it was just a bunch of angry wolf spiders and
Yeah. And ants.
angry ants that, upon closer inspection, didn't really. I think they found a common enemy in the two of us, and they just kind of left and went back to what they were doing. Um, and then I think one day the wolf spiders were just gone. I think they actually,
Yeah,
got a
they understood.
professional to do it instead of the two kids. Um, but yeah, no,
Or take a hose.
like a hose. Yeah, like a hose would
Yeah,
probably, but like
yeah. A hose would definitely do that.
we'll get them off. But like what's stopping them from coming right back on? You know, so like they probably
Uh,
hired like an
the
actual
water.
dude, or it's got like pesticide, like sprayed it all over them, and be like, hey, go away, and they're like, all right, I guess I'll go away.
Yeah.
Okay, so those were our two talking points, and now I'm completely out of material. Um, so
All
let's
right.
what you got anything while I try and figure
Uh,
something out?
see, this is why prompts are good.
No, oh, I got one. Godzilla versus Kong. Let's go. That's like
Okay.
big in
All
the
right.
meme
It
community,
counts.
and
It counts as all right, and it counts
that
as
counts
movie.
as atomic.
Keep doing the
Yeah,
theme.
we're keep doing the
Uh,
movie theme. That's pretty good.
all right. Yeah, I don't know how the ant thing comes into the movie theme,
Mm.
but all right. Actually, no, you did. It let off because you wanted to have a hotel for worms. Okay.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. Godzilla versus Kong. Who do you think's gonna win?
So I think just like we talked about this earlier, where it's probably just gonna be like bigger baddie. Let's go work together. That
Yeah.
guy, and then
Like
both of
just
them
like
are. It's gonna
spoiler
be
him.
like a draw, or both of
Batman
them are
versus
gonna
Superman.
win. Um, if I thought it was just like if they were like in a death battle, like type of deal, if they were just
Full
kind of
blown death battle, like death battle. No one, like, you cannot stop until the other one dies.
Exactly.
Kind of death battle. Godzilla would kick King Kong's ass
No,
every
like
time.
no question about it. No holds barred. Like I get it. Ape is in this case it's smarter. It's using tools and stuff, and usually
Yeah.
warm-blooded animals um are typically smarter. They're typically smarter. Um, but like the warm-blooded thing, like the Godzilla's
Mhm.
probably big enough to where like he's basically warm-blooded. He isn't, but he's basically warm-blooded. He's big
But
enough
yeah,
to like produce
yeah.
enough body
Dude,
heat.
if he could kill King Ghidorah, all right, like if he can go, if he, I don't know if you watched King of the Monsters, probably not, but at the end of that movie, he goes basically fucking Super Saiyan,
Mm,
and he melts he creates, like, he's irradiating so much nuclear energy and heat that everything is just melting around him. All
mm-hmm.
right, if he gets to that stage in King Kong versus Godzilla, or Kong versus Godzilla, because there's no king, just
Mm-hmm.
Kong.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
like the guy,
yeah, he would just melt.
his face off.
Okay, he would just melt and then get cancer and then die and then.
Mm. Like
uh,
to put off that much radiation that it is providing visible light. Um, he's going to shoot that into him, cause severe burns on contact, and then immediately give him super monkey cancer. Um, and
Dude, you have no idea. At the end of King of the Monsters, he literally explodes. All
mm,
right, like there is an explosion that happens, and if Godzilla does that, Kong no more.
yeah,
Kong no
Kong no more.
exists. It just don't work.
Another thing is that if they're going off of Godzilla lore, Godzilla has been around for um, millions of years. He's been around since like before the dinosaurs, kind of.
Yeah,
He's been
sort of.
around
Back
for a
when
while.
supposedly Titans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
well,
like,
here's the thing with that. If you don't, King Kong lore, apparently there's a big rivalry, supposedly, that in this new version of Godzilla, and like that, like this universe, in this new lore of this universe, there's a rivalry, like an ancient rivalry between like King Kong's species and Godzilla's species, but
mm-hmm.
they're the last two surviving ones, and
Okay.
so that's where part of that comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And but the thing is that Godzilla is an OG one, while King Kong is just like a surviving child from his parents.
Well,
That
yeah.
happened like 60 years ago.
Okay. Well, still, the point provides that Godzilla is significantly uh, older than
Yeah,
Kong, without any signs of like, I'm old, need a cane now. Um, so clearly, Godzilla has like way more combat experience than
mhm.
Kong ever did. Like Kong was like fighting like weird animals on an island, but he never took anything on the size and strength of Godzilla.
Yeah,
Another thing, they're in the middle of the ocean fighting on like a weird like thing or whatever. He could
yeah. I
just
think that's
grab
the
him
first
and go under the water.
I think that's the first time that they interact. And actually, he in the trailer, King Kong, he jumps off the fucking thing because Godzilla shoots his fire in my laser, and then fucking shoots apart the platform he's on,
Mhm.
and then Kong jumps into the water. If you look at the trailer, he does he does that weird like chimp jump.
Yeah, like the chimp jump with like the arms and like the arms have to be involved in the chimp jump. Um, but
Yeah,
like there's so many things going against Kong. The only thing that I can give towards Kong is that he is warm blooded, so he moves a bit faster, and he's also smarter.
he is
But
cool.
yeah, and he has like a tool that
Apparently
the humans
ancient
gave him. They're
axe
like, here's
that
like
is
a
able to withstand fucking every like a whole fucking blast. Apparently,
maybe it's made out of like lead or something. You know, it's like a lead axe. You know, like I gave you this here. You're gonna go fight this really big Godzilla. I'm gonna give you this pencil. Go have fun. Um,
actually, I don't think the humans gave it to him. I think it's a weapon from his parents
his
that he finds
ancestors.
on.
Yeah. He's just like, this axe was used to kill giant lizards that I never met. I'm gonna go do that now. And then he does or something. Like Godzilla's gotta win. Like if they're gonna pick a winner,
Well,
it's gotta be Godzilla.
yeah. Well, the thing is, Mecha Godzilla is gonna show up. All right, if you look at the beginning of the trailer, you see a little teeny little bit of what could possibly be Godzilla, but it's most likely Mecha Godzilla because it's a black and red type color scheme. But they also gave it away.
Yeah.
Like 100% gave it away because on another scene in that very same trailer, in the background you can see a screen that
Mm-hmm.
says like systems offline or whatever the fuck, and it's a Godzilla outline.
Yeah.
So it's just Mecha Godzilla. It's going to happen. So what's going to happen is like, oh, bigger baddie, and then fight. But actually, I have a separate theory where because it doesn't make sense for Godzilla to be targeting human cities. It does. It just doesn't make sense
Yeah, he
because
just wants to like sleep or whatever. Like he just wants to
because
be left alone.
well, he's a guardian of the earth. Like he in the very first movie of Godzilla, they said that he brings balance to the earth, and so that doesn't
Ah,
mean he
he's a
likes humans.
Jedi.
Yeah, so that doesn't mean he likes humans, but if they just haven't been doing anything, and so when they could have done something that caused him to want like have to turn against them, but it's also possible that I think it's maybe the Mecha Godzilla is pretending to be Godzilla, and then the ones that we see fighting is Kong fighting like Mecha Godzilla. Like, all right, so like they use Mecha Godzilla to try to instigate a fight between Kong and Godzilla,
Ah.
right? And
So
then
they're
so
like,
that's what
look,
gets them to fight.
Godzilla's terrorizing Japan for the 16th time this week. I think we gotta go get Big Ape, you know?
Yeah, and so they're trying to instigate a fight. I think that's how they instigate the fight
Mm-hmm.
is by using Mecha Godzilla.
I
I think
think
that
then that the Godzilla that Kong is fighting on the the big cruise ship, the Titanic, maybe that is real Godzilla, but like they
could
use Mecha to like say, okay, we need Kong, we need to go like fight this guy right now. Come on, let's go get the big monkey. Let's go do this. Um, and then they do it, and then they piss off Godzilla, and Godzilla comes up, and he's like, what do you want? What do you? I haven't done it. I've been sleeping for the last like 20 years. What do you want? And then they start fighting, and he's like, whoa, what's going on? And he says those words specifically.
yeah,
In this movie, he can talk. And that he's I'm the voice actor.
mhm.
It was me. I'm the voice
You're
actor
in
for
the
Godzilla.
bodysuit.
I'm in the bodysuit. Yeah, it's not like an animation. It's actual
It's
like
not
just like
CGI
the
anymore.
old movies. Just like it's like a guy in
Okay.
a suit. That's me. Yeah. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
make sure that
You gonna shove a tree down your throat again?
yes.
You know what scene I'm talking about?
Yes. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna also do the drop kick part. I'm gonna drop kick Kong.
You
I'm like you're gonna see a whole new side of
know your
Godzilla.
shit.
Godzilla was down there watching like some wrestling, some WWE. I'm gonna go up there and I'm
I
gonna
can't believe
freaking hit the people's elbow on that Kong
I
dude.
can't believe they even
He's never
made
gonna stand a chance.
that scene like where he just fucking glides across the ground like
Like it's like he's
the
got
tail.
like a what are those shoes called that have the wheels on it?
Fucking wheelies.
Wheelies, yeah. He's got like a
Healing.
wheelies on
Healing.
his tail,
No.
and he just like
Healy.
rolls. Heelys, yeah. He's got a
Yeah, healing.
Heelys on his tail, and he just rolls towards people with like
Yeah.
his foot, like his feet out, and then he just kicks them. I think I also remember a part. The director was telling me he's like, at some point during this movie, you are going to dunk on King Kong, and I was very down for that. I'm not
Uh-huh.
very good at basketball, but I can very much like put my crotch in their face as I put a ball in a hoop.
Okay. All right. So, do you think anyone, either King Kong or Godzilla, is gonna die?
Unlikely in the movie. I don't think they can afford it because like the people that made like Godzilla and the people that made Kong, if they're the same people or different people, uh, movie make money. Kill
Movie do.
movie, money go away. So if you like, it's like if you took like Star Wars for example,
Uh-huh.
and they just like killed Luke in the first episode, they're gonna and that was it. Done. It would be
Uh,
pretty fucking boring. you know. So they're
Well, all right, well,
like,
that analogy doesn't really work.
well, no, 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 but
Analogy,
like,
the analogy would work if they killed Luke in the first time that he fights Vader, like
yeah,
the
like the
very
first
very
time
first
they
time
fight
he goes
Vader,
in,
and Vader just like, even though
and
Vader
then Vader
totally
just
kicked
straight up
his
just
ass.
fucking cuts him off, and
Hmm.
then I mean, like there is no Luke, I'm your father or
It's just
anything.
like, hey, Luke, you don't have a lightsaber anymore. Choke,
Hey, Luke,
haha,
you're dead.
stupid idiot.
Yeah,
Well, let's talk about Star Wars after this, but yeah, no, like they're not gonna kill either one of them off. They want to continue making movies. They're gonna go off of the like the Avengers deal, you know, and just like make a whole trilogy with all of the different guys in it. Which with Godzilla, there being so many like cheesy knockoff versions of Godzilla, they could totally do that. Where like
yeah,
King
like
Kong
a
and Godzilla become like a tag team and they start whooping up butts, you know, and they
fucking multiverse Godzilla movie where he
yeah, dude, I
fights
want to
the
see that.
1999 version.
I want to see Thanos Godzilla come in and be like, I
Fucking
gotta wipe out half of the monkeys. And then, like, Kong's like, no, don't do that. I'm a monkey. You know? Again, me being the voice actor for all of these characters.
yeah, yeah, I
Spoilers
hate.
for the next movie. The next 5 movies. That's the trilogy they're ending on. There's going to be the Infinity Gauntlet, but it's going to be the reptile monkey gauntlet, and it's gonna be like like there's gonna be 2 gems, and one's gonna be monkey, the other one's gonna be lizard.
Yep.
Um, that's the next, like that's 2 movies away from Godzilla vs Kong. What
2 movies away.
2 movies away? Like after this one comes off.
So
Um,
by the end of the decade.
yes, by the end of the decade, definitely it's gonna come out, and uh, I can't wait to do some more voice lines for those guys at the studio, whose name I
Roar.
will not mention because I forgot. Yeah,
Legendary.
where I go bye bye, and then they're like, all right, I need you
Legendary.
to so you're fighting Kong right now. I need you to make a Godzilla noise, and I'm like, all right, I can do that. And then I do that, and they're like, that was great, and I can't wait. Yeah, Godzilla
I
Roar was
think.
replaced with
All
harmonica.
right. I think we could wrap it up here, and then we could save the whole thing for Star Wars.
Yeah, we'll do episode 2 on Star Wars because that's a topic that people like. I'll make sure to,
Whole thing.
yeah, a whole deal with like going.
The
We'll like
games,
work through like the
movies,
prequels and the
the
originals and those
extended
sequels. Yeah,
universe, Mandalorian,
man, there's a lot to do with
Wars.
Star Wars. So if you tune in for the next episode, go watch the entirety of The Mandalorian if you haven't already, because we will be talking about it. Because it's good. It's very good. Even if you don't like Star Wars, it's pretty good. And if you do like
It's
Star
good.
Wars,
It's a good
you'll see
standalone.
Stormtrooper arc take place over 15 minutes. That is significantly better in every possible way than Finn's in the sequels.
Mhm.
It's just better in
Because
every.
they did him dirty.
They really did. I wanted to see Stormtrooper turn Jedi. Like I wanted to
That's
see.
what they
Okay,
put a focus on
I'm.
it in the first movie, and they're like, "Wow!" They show him holding a lightsaber,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
he's like, "Wow, I'm gonna do this," and he's like, "I don't know how to use this," and then that's what they went for the rest of the movies.
Yeah,
There's
I'm kind of
no
lying to
learning.
myself here when I
All
say
right,
I
we're kind
wanted
of
to see a Stormtrooper Jedi. I really just wanted to see a black guy as a Jedi again.